Hey, welcome to this week's Team Wealth and Health webinar. I'm Sasha Schlossberg. We also have Vanessa Jones. We are your Diamond coaches, and we are so amped about this week's training. So last week, we started diving into customer avatars. We got deep on why they're so important, the strengths to them, how it's going to help your marketing. It's like a free way to just put your marketing on steroids. So definitely watch last week's if you haven't. We will post a link in the group to it if you've missed it. But this week what we're doing is we're really diving deep on creating your customer avatar. So first thing we're going to do is Vanessa's going to get us rolling on that. So let's just get into it.
All right. Can you hear me this time?
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. So, like Sasha said, please, 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 if you did not see last week's webinar, go back. You do not want to walk into the movie 30 minutes in. And we've got tons of notes. If you guys could see all the notes that we have over here, we've been working really hard for you ladies and gentlemen. So first thing that you want to do is think of this customer avatar as like a real person. And this may sound crazy going in, but trust me, this definitely works. So give the person a name, grab a picture of what they may look like online. If you've done any vision board work, think of it like that. You're going to literally build your customer avatar. I know that sometimes before, when I worked in sales and in real estate, if I was going in to pitch or going in to do a presentation for something, I would rehearse in the mirror. I would put up magazines and, rehearse to my crowd. This is who you are marketing and talking to. You're talking directly to them. So let's actually physically build this customer avatar. A couple of things that you want to think about when you're thinking about this avatar and your ideal customer is, what's their name? Give them a name. So as you're talking to them, when you're thinking of social media campaigns to put out, you say, oh, here it is. This is for Joan, or this is for Bill, and that is exactly who you're talking to. So give them a name. You've already got their picture up on your board. Let's name this person. How old are they? Are they married? Are they single? Are they divorced? Are they widowed? Do they have children? If so, how many children? Where do they live? Do they live on a farm? Do they live in a city? Think about that. What kind of school do they attend? Are they currently a student? What is their current job title? What is their profession, or what is their desired profession if they're a student? What's their average household income? Hair color, eyes, weight. What does this person look like? If they're currently working, how many years have they been in their current position? Are they happy with their position? What's their current salary? How many jobs have they had during their career? Do they hop from job to job, or is this the person that stays on the same job for 20 years? What are their political views? And I know politics is a touchy subject. I typically do not talk about politics, but when you're creating your customer avatar, you want to think about this. What is this person's possible political affiliation? Their religious views, spiritual, religious. What kind of category are you going to put them in there? What do they believe in, or do they not believe? What are their personal interests? What are their hobbies? So these are some things to kind of get you going when you're thinking about creating this customer avatar. We are building a live person. So let's go make your baby. This is your customer avatar, and hopefully we'll see some pictures of yours that you've actually built. I'm going to turn this over to Sasha again so she can dive into a few things a little bit deeper, and then we're actually going to help you build an avatar per request of one of our awesome team members. So stay tuned. Take it away, Sasha.
Awesome. Okay, so something fun that I will do is I'll post a link in the group to a way that you can create your own little face. So if you don't want to find a picture, you can create a little like a CGI person. So that'll be excellent. And a little backtrack thought is it the whole point of this, right? If there's however many 18 million Facebook users and you're gonna place an ad, right? If you place an ad for anybody with a body, for Beachbody, it's too general. You're not gonna get the clicks. So when you're creating your specific person, I'm gonna go with Joan, like Vanessa said, right? So you create your Joan person. Well, if you know exactly the ins and outs of their lifestyle, you're going to know exactly how to target to them. So that's really, really the point of that. And knowing their life story is really the useful thing. So one way that you can go and find this information, right, you can pick their target range. And actually, a really good way to do this is to look at in your company either who is successful or where the bulk of the customers are. And if you don't know for yourself, post in the group. You know, ask questions. But if you know, I'm just going to pick a number. I'm going to say that, say our ideal customer is 30 years old, right? And you have some friends that are 30 years old. Then what you can do is you're going to reverse engineer. Take people that you think would be good customers. You're going to go to their Facebook page and see what they're posting about. And that's where you're going to find their problems, because so many people use Facebook as a diary that you can use this to your strength, as a strength for you. So you're going to go on their page if you're their friend, or if you're not their friend but they have a public profile, go and view their likes. You're going to look at their favorite brands, their, what, you know, if they went to high school, if they went to college, and take a tally sheet, make notes, and over time you're actually going to come to, you're going to notice a general rules on these people. So if you have a question, if you're not sure yourself on what do they like, what their problems are, you can find it by looking at Facebook pages. That is really an excellent way to do that. And this is more specific to Beachbody, but say you're selling another item in, then maybe you would go onto LinkedIn, or you're going to go onto the social network that the people in your target audience are generally using. It's really about getting into the brain of the person that you're that you want to sell to, that you want to serve, I guess, is really the better word on that. Vanessa, do you have any more thoughts on ways to find the specific person? Because I think that's huge, and I think that would probably, when I first heard of avatars, I had no idea. I couldn't dive any deeper than I was like, well, stay-at-home moms in their 30s? I didn't have anything beyond that.
You know, I think of it almost like a maze. You know how sometimes if you start at the finish line, you can get to the start faster than starting at the start to get to the finish. So I like to think of all of the questions and then kind of pull my avatar. So almost like reverse engineering it. When I built my first avatar, I thought it was one thing, but when I really started digging into answering all of these questions, it was something completely different. So if you have an ideal avatar that you know this is where you want to target, then you can ask those questions and proceed from there. If you're really unsure, ask the questions first. Create an ideal person. There are so many types of people. You will start relating to people based on that. So that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, no, I agree with that one entirely. And that brings another point. You may find that you have more than one target avatar, which is totally fine, especially in the case of if people are purchasing Facebook ads. If you're purchasing Facebook ads, you are totally in control of who you're marketing to, in which case you may have more than one. The problem comes is if you have 20 to 30 avatars. You can't possibly manage that, and what you can't manage, you can't monetize, you can't scale. So you get a couple of them. I dive personally into one specific avatar, and I'm doing all of my marketing purely through attraction, through Facebook, and the more specific that I go, the better quality of leads of people that are inboxing me, which that's effective. Now I know that you do ads and you do other forms of lead sourcing. So how many avatars do you have?
Me personally, it depends on what I'm marketing. So for the health and fitness industry, I typically focus on one particular avatar. If I'm talking about something else, so I do it kind of, you know, per product. If I'm running ads for specifically Shakeology, that customer avatar may be different for somebody that I'm looking to be a Team Beachbody coach. So you can break it down and make it very, very specific.
That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense.
Should we jump into our sample? Because I know we're getting ready to start running short on time.
Yes.
Okay. So we had a special request from one of our awesome team members. Thank you, Scott. And he wanted to know, as a male, how do you target, single moms? He was raised by a single mom. This is a target group that he's seen from, from the inside. He understands. He can answer all of these questions. But he's a guy. So how do you approach that market? And the way that you do it is exactly the same way. You can, and just from marketing as a whole, we know that Randy has had a recent promotion out there targeting women. And Randy is definitely a guy. So we can target any market that we want to. We can go after any customer avatar that we want to. So what we would say, I know I'm a single mom. And what are some of the things that we think about? We think about the fact that we are the sole breadwinner. We think about the responsibility that we have. We think about, what are we presenting to our children? Are our kids happy? So if you are not your specific customer avatar, and if you don't have recent experience with this particular customer avatar, talk to somebody that you think may fit the demographics. Ask them questions. See how they can help you. And plug in, because the biggest thing that you want to do, it's all research. It's like a focus group. Go out there and figure out exactly what these people are talking about, what they're looking for, and target them specifically. You want to be talking directly to them, looking them in the eyeballs. So that would be, the recommendation from here. Sasha, anything else on that?
Just that maybe your stories that you're going to tell are going to be different. If you're, like in the case of ad marketing, it doesn't matter if you're that person or not, because you know exactly how to target them via ads. Now, if you want to attract them via attraction marketing, then it's a totally different thing. You're going to tell stories that you know would appeal to a single mom. In the case of Scott, he would tell stories about growing up with his mom and that he wishes that she had something like this, or that he can see how this would be great for, and kind of spelling it out really. In a way, the key is really to relate. It's to relate and to be. The word authentic is such a cheesy word, because you either are or you're not. You can't fake that. But that's the whole thing, is to really find the authenticity, speak from the heart on that, because that's why that's important to him, right? And I think that's the key in all of this. If you're doing attraction marketing, if you're doing ads, if you can, the whole point, you're not creating an avatar. We don't have all these notes because we're trying to manipulate or do anything dishonest or find false authenticity. We're creating an avatar so we know what the person's need is, so that we can fill that, so that we can serve them. So really, in that regard, then it benefits everyone. So if you have an avatar that isn't your own, then think about how you can best serve them what they need. And that's a really, really good starting point.
That's great. So I know we tried to pack a lot of stuff into a short amount of time. We wanted to make sure we respected your time. And we are going to talk more on this topic, along with showing you some how-tos and tips and tools and things like that. So please, please, please post your questions, message us, let us know what you need to get your customer avatar built, because to be an effective marketer, this is where you start. This is exactly where you need to be. If not anything else, Sasha?
Just to close it out, we would love to have a rolling discussion about this in the group. Like, the whole point of these webinars is that we're seeking to provide effective content and do it with you guys. So let's get chatting. As Vanessa said, if you have questions, but we'll post resources that we found that could help you all. Yeah, that's just what I wanted to jump in.
Awesome. Well, everybody have a great one. Until next week, we will talk to you soon.
Yep.